Next Wednesday, March 5th, is Bemidji's annual Day at the Capitol event, which gives Bemidji city officials the chance to present what they believe to be priorities for the city to state legislators. Our reporter Matthew Freeman has more details on what exactly our city officials will be presenting during their day at the Capitol.
In order to provide concise and consistent information to state legislators, the Bemidji City Council held a work session to discuss what exactly the city needs before they head to St. Paul to discuss those needs with state legislators. The City Council felt that bonding requests for either major renovations or the possible reconstruction of Bemidji's fire hall are very needed, citing a need for co-ed locker rooms for privacy concerns, as well as an overall size expansion. The building itself was constructed in 1970 and has not seen any renovations since. As well as a bonding request for the very building the City Council hold their meetings, with accommodations for those with disabilities being a concern, as well as a needed update to the air system in the building, although not every councilor was on board with fully reconstructing either of the buildings.
I'm not convinced yet about that, so that wouldn't be a priority for me. It seems to be the way of the world. After 50 years, you tear down and you build new, and it's hard for me to get my arms around that. So I'm more in favor of a sales special tax to help us maintain what we own.
In this request, it's possible for us to go and say, we're considering, finding ways to reuse what we have, but in the event that that cannot happen, we're looking to up to this amount. We're going to give you this upper amount. We're going to be spending our time doing the thing to figure out what's the best way and how we can best use our monies.
The councilors then discussed possibly implementing a sales and special use tax as one of their priorities, which again, some councilors were against.
While I am interested in exploring special use tax or a food and beverage tax, I am not in favor of a sales tax or even considering it, for the simple fact that a handful of businesses I've reached out and I've talked to a few of them, our sales tax is already significantly high. And I know a handful of people that actually purchase things and have it shipped out of town so they can avoid paying that sales tax. It just pushes businesses just into Hubbard County over that county line. And so that is concerning.
I agree with the special use tax. I'm more in favor of a food and beverage tax than I am a sales tax. We have infrastructure issues. We know our roads are on a 100+ year rotation. We know we don't have sufficient funding for some of our maintenance in our buildings. I mean, that's why we're having the conversation we're having about Fire Station 1 and City Hall. So we need to get ahead of this. And so to me, I think that's the simplest, easiest way.
Housing development funding was also listed as a priority for the council, but some councilors felt they should spend some of the money that is already there before asking for more.
I would really like to encourage us to have a conversation about how we would like to start using some of these housing dollars, because that is the best way to be able to go back to the legislature and say we've used these dollars in this way. That is why we would like to encourage you to provide more of these sort of unrestricted housing dollars. That is what people find very frustrating about government, is when we just sit on dollars that we're supposed to use towards some of these issues.
Reporting in Bemidji, I'm Matthew Freeman, Lakeland News.
Mayor Prince also wants to remind state legislators that the Rail Corridor project is officially underway and hopes the council can find other means of development funding for that project while they're at the Capitol. We'll have details on Bemidji's Day at the Capitol next week.
Lakeland News is a nonprofit news organization. Donate to Lakeland PBS today to support your local news team.